The fractured mind. The small town of Havenwood sat at the edge of an expansive forest, an idyllic place known for its cozy homes and friendly neighbors. However, beneath its serene facade lay a creeping shadow that whispered of madness. 17-year-old Clara Reynolds had always been fascinated by the town's peculiar history, especially the abandoned Thompson estate that loomed on the outskirts. Once a grand mansion, it had fallen into disrepair after the family who inhabited it succumbed to strange occurrences, with rumors of insanity swirling among them. Clara, grappling with her own mental health issues, anxieties that twisted her thoughts and left her questioning her own reality, felt an undeniable draw to the estate. On the day she finally decided to explore the haunted remnants of the Thompson house, she gave herself a little pep talk in front of her mirror, hoping to quench her nerves. "You can do this," she murmured, tossing her dark curls behind her shoulder. "You're not like them." The air was thick with foreboding as Clara approached the estate. The once grand entrance was choked with ivy, the wooden door sagged on its hinges, and the windows were clouded with grime, giving the house an eternal watchfulness that set chills crawling along her spine. With one last tug on her jacket, she pushed the door open, the creaking hinge echoing like a ghostly wail. Inside, the sunlight barely penetrated the thick layer of dust. Clara stepped cautiously, her footfalls muted by layers of decay. As she moved from room to room, memories of the Thompsons' history intertwined with her own escalating fears. Whispers of their descent into madness gnawed at her mind, taunting her with unspeakable scenarios. Suddenly, a low grinding noise caught her attention from the corner of her eye. She turned and saw a staircase spiraling into the darkness above, an invitation she couldn't resist. Clara felt a mental tug of war. Her curiosity battled against a sense of dread. Swallowing hard, she climbed the staircase, each step feeling heavier than the last. At the top, she discovered a small room filled with dusty furniture. An old mirror stood in the corner, its surface speckled and cracked. Peering into it, she was overwhelmed by a disturbing sensation. Although she could see her reflection, her own image seemed to warp slightly, flickering like a faulty light bulb. For a fleeting moment, Clara thought she saw another face, a ghastly visage that mirrored her emotions but twisted them into something grotesque. The face smiled, yet the smile felt malevolent, as if it knew her darkest fears. Clara staggered back and slammed her eyes shut, trying to shake off the sensation. "It's just a reflection," she muttered, backing away from the mirror before she caught sight of something else, an ethereal figure standing at the doorway. She squinted, her heart racing. The figure was a woman, frail and ghostly, with sunken eyes that seemed familiar yet hauntingly foreign. Something about her stirred a sense of recognition within Clara's troubled mind. "Help me," the specter whispered, her voice shaky, as if it were carried by the wind. "They won't let me out." Clara stepped closer, her fear giving way to empathy. "Who are you?" she asked, voice trembling. "I was once like you, like us." The woman's gaze pierced through Clara's defenses, digging into the depths of her own anxieties. "But the house took me. It fills your mind with shadows, with whispers." Suddenly, the house groaned, settling like some ancient beast awakening from a long slumber. Clara stumbled back, realizing that the woman's pleading grew louder, frantically calling out for help. In a rush of panic, Clara turned to flee, her heart pounding louder than ever before. As she darted down the stairs, the walls of the mansion seemed to close in around her. "Clara," the voice called, now laced with desperation. "You can't leave, you're one of us now." With every ounce of strength, Clara pushed through the door, the echo of the woman's plea ringing in her ears. As she stumbled outside, the mansion's charm morphed into terror. The once quiet forest exploded with noise, the trees whispering secrets she couldn't decipher. She hesitated, torn between the solace of the trees and the thundering chaos in her mind. Days turned into weeks filled with sleepless nights plagued by nightmares of the woman. Clara's mental state deteriorated, the line between reality and delusion growing increasingly blurred. She started to hear whispers in the night, fearful murmurs echoing the woman's cries. The townspeople, once friendly faces, became symbols of a lurking menace. Their smiles twisted into grins, as if they were guardians of the secrets buried within the estate. Desperate for sleep, Clara confined herself to her home. Yet, every sharp knock or creak in the night sent waves of terror through her bones. Her mind played tricks, warping familiar sights into haunting visions. The remnants of her reality twisted like the threads of the house, drawing her inexorably into a madness she feared would claim her entirely. Weeks later, the townsfolk noticed a change in Clara. She had grown unkempt, her vibrant eyes filled with a hollow vacancy. As she wandered the streets, people would watch her, wary of the whispers that followed her movements, afraid she was losing herself to the estate's sordid legacy. One fateful night, Clara returned to the Thompson house, driven by an unseen force. She climbed the staircase for a final time. Standing before the mirror she once feared, she saw the woman once again, but this time it wasn't a haunting plea. It was a knowing smile, one that welcomed her into the depths of insanity. The cracks in the mirror shimmered, reflecting a fractured reality, and as Clara reached out, she felt the cold embrace of the house swallow her whole. Years later, a new family moved into Havenwood. They explored the townsfolk's stories of the mysterious Thompson estate, the shadowy figure seen lingering in the shattered mirror. And at night, if you listened closely, you could hear the whispers of a young girl lost to the echoes of madness, her existence forever entwined with that of the home that had claimed her spirit.